Ukraine at unprecedented levels, and so many different things. Let's start with this.
We need to get them in a chokehold. They're trying to strangle us, and we should reciprocate. We did not chase anyone out. We provided the best possible conditions to work in our market, and they're trying to choke us. And we should act in a mirror fashion. We need to get them.
So, we need to put the West in the chokehold that they're putting us in, is his argument. Now, all of this is happening in front of the backdrop of reporting like CNN reporting Russia launched its largest aerial assault of its 3-year war on Ukraine overnight, targeting the capital and other regions with missiles and drones for a second night in a row. The largest aerial assault of the entire war. Now, you might remember that we talked about this phone call that happened between Trump and Putin. And I said, as always, normal caveats, if something were to be achieved, that would be great, and if peace could happen, that would be wonderful. But I almost don't have to say that anymore because it's so obvious that's not what's happening. It's so obvious that Putin is playing Trump, and maybe, despite never being willing to admit this, Trump is acknowledging it. He said this.
Iran talks. I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. I can tell you the Iran talks have been going very well.
As you said, you're unhappy.
I'd love that to happen because I'd love to see no bombs dropped and a lot of people dead. I really would like to see that happen, and I think there's a good chance that it could happen.
You mentioned you're unhappy with President Putin. You've talked before about putting more sanctions on Russia. Is that something you're considering more seriously?
Absolutely. He's killing a lot of people. I don't know what's wrong with him. What the hell happened to him, right? He's killing a lot of people. I'm not happy about that. Go ahead, what else?
So again, the relationship is spiraling, but I need to just say, while I guess it's good to see Trump is contending with reality a little bit more now, he's still as detached from reality as ever, because even the way he worded that, what happened to Putin? What happened to him? He used to be so reasonable, but now he's not. No, this is what we've been telling you. That's been the whole problem, is that he doesn't want peace, but you were saying that he does. Was that because we didn't want peace and you did? No, that was because we were assessing that the reason we didn't have peace for all this time was because Putin's ambition to continue his invasion. And now him talking about putting the West in a stranglehold. Before getting back more into that, let's just complete the Putin clips, him saying this.
It wasn't us who organized the coup in Ukraine.
Why are authoritarians so victim upset? There's such victims all the time. We didn't. You're going to hear him say, that's why we had to do what we did in this clip. Which does remind me of Trump whenever he blames his own victimhood on every bad thing he ever does.
We heard that democracy and the rule of law and elections are paramount. But they staged a coup, a bloody coup at that. And they went full on, tried to conquer the Donbass and killing people with helicopters.
The camera is cutting to different individuals and they all look very fun. You know, like, I'd love to be in a room with loud music and fun lights with these gentlemen. They look very fun and energetic, and they seem like they would have interesting personalities, etc. The next guy you're going to see who really brings this home.
They forced us to do what we're now doing. And they're trying to make it look as if it's our fault.
Yeah. He looks fun. They all have interesting hair choices, but fun.
I'm afraid.
That's what when I see. Okay, you get the point. Yeah, Putin is blaming, as he always does, everyone but himself for starting a war that now he's absolutely failing at. really the whole time. But Trump posted this. I've always had a very good relationship. By the way, as we go through this, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. And then if you want to become a member, click the join button. And then beyond that, we're doing a live show in Austin, Texas, July 5th. So lukebeasleyshow.com/live or the link in the description of this video. You can get your tickets. It's going to be a blast, and I'll meet all of you. I've always had, Trump says, a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin of Russia, but something has happened to him. He's gone absolutely crazy. He is needlessly killing a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about soldiers. Missiles and drones are being shot into cities in Ukraine for no reason whatsoever. I've always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it, and maybe that's proving to be right, but if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia. Likewise, President Zelensky is doing his country no favors by talking the way he does. Everything out of his mouth causes problems. I don't like it, and it better stop. This is a war that would have never started if I were president. You're president now. This is Zelensky's, Putin's, and Biden's war, not Trump's. I'm only helping to put out the big and ugly fires that have been started through gross incompetence and hatred. Russia did respond to this message directly, calling him emotional. We'll get to that, but he's a sick person. I think we just need to, the fact that this, you can tell, he's realizing that this is a Putin problem, obviously. Hey, we all realized that whenever he invaded originally, but Trump maybe finally has come to that conclusion, but he still is too much of a coward, or doesn't want to admit he's wrong, and so he still has to say it's a Zelensky, Putin, and Biden problem. That's the list. He puts Zelensky's name first, the defender of the country that's being invaded, and then Putin, and then includes Biden for some reason. Oh, leave your name on my mother. Biden said, I think. And he can't just admit there's nothing, it's not Zelensky's words that are causing problems. It's not Biden that's causing problems. It's Putin choosing to be invaded that's causing problems and bloodshed. But at least he's acknowledging Putin is escalating the violence, I guess. That he said.
Provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine as well.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't...
He's been killing a lot of people. Did you miss that part? Something happened. Something happened to Putin. So confusing, so strange. No, he's been doing it the whole time. That's kind of the story of the whole last 3 years. So when you were out going, oh no, this is a conflict that just was provoked by the West, and actually Zelensky did something wrong, and so if I were president, I would have to call and say, guys, settle, and then I'll call them and say, guys, settle, and then it would solve the whole thing, because really all it took was someone to say they want peace, and it was really Biden, and it was Boris Johnson or whatever, who were convincing Zelensky not to accept peace when Putin was obviously saying all of that was wrong, Trump, and that's what we were telling you. How does he not have even a little eensy-weensy Trump hand-sized humility to say, I was wrong. I thought this was a problem with the West, with Zelensky, with geopolitical tension, but now I'm realizing there is an authoritarian force that wants to take over another country, and he's set on that, and he keeps playing me, and we're doing phone calls, and what do I mean by that? He's delaying Trump doing any actual sanctions or extra pressure on Putin to try to force him into peace by constantly giving just enough of a nugget of hope that he actually wants peace, when that's obviously not true. All right, sorry. Starting this one from the beginning.
Provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine as well.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
President, what do you want to do about
And I'm
that?
surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Can I follow up on that?
Imagine putting yourself, you know, in cartoons, whenever there's like a tiger or a lion that wants a piece of meat, the piece of meat's like a perfect, beautiful looking steak. Imagine getting a bunch of those perfect, beautiful looking red steaks, nice and rare, and wrapping them all around your body, and then charging at 6 lions, and then it bites you and you go, that was surprising. Like, oh, what? Why'd they bite me? I always had a good relationship with the Lions. I always admired the Lions. I loved how the Lions also didn't really love democracy. I loved the train stations that the Lions were, right? It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be logical. That's what Trump's doing here. I'm so shocked that Putin keeps striking Ukraine as he's been doing this whole time. But the real question is, he keeps going, yeah, we'll do something. So do something. Big, strong guy. You're so strong. You love strong guys. Get turned on by authoritarians. Do something. Do something. Be a man. And actually do something, please. Put the pressure on him. Dmitry Peskov, a Putin spokesperson, said, "We are really grateful to the Americans and to President Trump personally for their assistance in organizing and launching the negotiation process. Of course, at the same time, this is a very crucial moment, which is associated, of course, with the emotional overload of everyone, absolutely, and with emotional reactions about Trump's True Social posts." He's calling you emotional, Donald. Oh, little Donald, he's so whiny and emotional. Does that not piss you off? Come on. Come on. Do something. No, what I mean is like sanctions and economic pressure. I don't mean military strikes, but support Ukraine a bunch. As much aid as you can give them, give it. That's the only way we're going to force Putin into giving up on this endeavor and agreeing to lasting peace. And remember, I referenced this past call. This was Putin after he got off last week or something, a 2-hour call with Trump. Good evening. My colleagues asked to say a few words about the results of our telephone conversation with the President of the United States. Indeed, this conversation took place and lasted more than 2 hours. What did they talk about, by the way? I would like to note that it was very informative, very frank, and overall, in my opinion, very useful in this regard. And then Trump went on to say he was so productive, he's serious about peace, and a week later, here we are. But can we really trust Trump to have, aside from the ideological strength, the intellectual strength to deal with world affairs like this when he gets impressed by turning on a computer?
Well, is Barron's aptitude, in your view, business or politics?
Maybe technology. He can look at a computer. I try turning off his car. I turn it off. I turn off his laptop. I said, "Oh, good." And I go back 5 minutes later. He's got his laptop. I say, "How'd you do that?" "None of your business, Dad." No, he's got an unbelievable aptitude in technology.
Yes. If you have a kid, if any of you are parents out there, and you notice that when you turn off their laptop, they're able to turn it back on, they might be a future software engineer. They really might. It's something you think about. How should we trust Trump with matters of geopolitics when this trips him up?
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Yeah. I have a good buddy. I have a really good buddy, and I love that he is passionate about
technician.
Yeah.
Wait, crypto. What?
When this trips him up.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic.
Cryptologic.
Yeah.
Hold on. I've not heard that before.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic. Technician.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Geopolitics. When this trips him up.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Yeah. I have a good buddy. I have a really good buddy,
no.
and I love that he is passionate about being a cryptologic technician. Like we were growing up and we were kids. He said, "I want to be a technician, but specifically a cryptologic technician." And I was like, "That's real. I had never heard of that." But I love that you know your passion. Get it. Go be a
Nobody's ever seen it.
technician. Do it. Get it.
Like it before.
Yes. Now, Zelensky did call out Trump and America's silence or the silence of America after the deadly round of Russian attacks. As we referenced, the post was here. Each such terrorist Russian strike is a sufficient reason for new sanctions against Russia. Russia's dragging out this war, continues to kill every day. The world may go on a weekend break, but the war continues regardless of what weekends and weekdays. This cannot be ignored. Silence of America, silence of others around the world only encourage Putin. And you know, it's not just silence of words, because Trump's always yapping about stuff, and he's yapping about this, but it's sort of the silence or the lack of action, right? At some point, Trump keeps saying there are pressure points he can press on Putin, and if you really know him so well, wouldn't you know what would get him to actually want peace? No. What does Trump, by the way, as a total side note, what does Trump even mean when he says, I know someone really well? Like, you met him a couple times, that's it. You met him a couple times on state visits, that's it. And you've had phone calls with him like you've had with other, that's it. But then he talks about them like they're his best friends. Because probably they just said nice things to him, and he's so simple-minded. A quick, lighthearted break from this. All of it is almost as absurd. Trump's handling of this is almost as absurd as a news anchor deciding she was going to continue news anchoring while in labor.
Wednesday morning, I'm Olivia Jaquith. And I'm Julia Dunn. We do have some breaking news this morning. Literally. Yes. Olivia's water has broke. That's and right. She is anchoring the news now in active labor. Early labor. We've been doing the contracts. She's now, timing her contractions. I'm going to pay attention. What, 2 minutes apart? No.
2 minutes already? Go to the hospital.
There was one, but it's been a few minutes since then, so we're still in good shape. Her decision to stay on the desk, by the way. Look at what it says, days past due date. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know. So we're thinking maybe I'm happy to be here, and I'll stay on the desk for as long as I possibly can, but if I disappear... We're so happy for you. She's 2 days overdue, so she wants this baby, baby out. But Wednesday morning...
There is some particular... Welcome, everybody, this morning to WRGB News. This is Channel 6. My name is Sarah. There is a traffic pile up on the 405, and we're not gonna go to the weather. President Trump over the weekend spoke out against President Biden. Hey, if you want a break, take a break from work. I think there's a few things. I love the grind. I love that she's a hard worker and wants to say. I think once the water breaks, maybe we go off the air. I think maybe that would be. I think her employer better support her going off the air. She's like, I don't have any more sick days. That's brutal. That's brutal, but admirable, nevertheless. Now, I do want to dive into now. Trump made the promise with Russia as it pertains to Ukraine, saying that he was going to stop the war in 24 hours. That failed. Another promise that he made on the campaign trail a lot, and is now blatantly, not just failing, but contradicting, is that he would be there every step of the way to natural disaster victims. So let's play this video.
I just want to thank all of the incredible men and women who have done such a great job in helping with Florence. This is a tough hurricane. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Oh, sorry. I think Jade played the wrong clip. That's not the hurricane clip I was thinking of. No, this is the correct clip. You remember when he said stuff like this?
I'm here today in Western North Carolina to express a simple message.